Well, they say size matters, but when it comes to magnet fishing, is bigger truly better? In today's video, we'll be looking at some of the most popular magnet sizes from Brute Magnetics, the industry leader in magnet fishing and industrial magnets, and we'll be determining if size truly matters or if there's a point of diminishing returns as you get larger with magnets. So with that, let's jump right in and see if bigger is truly better. Now there's several things you need to be considering when you're trying to decide which magnet is right for you. We like to think about the pulling force, of course, but we also need to think about the size and weight of each of these magnets. Now this is the 1,200 pound magnet from Brute Magnetics, and this one is pretty manageable as far as weight goes if you're going to be throwing this out and dragging it. But as we get into the larger magnets, now this is the largest magnet commercially available. It's about 2,100 plus pounds. It weighs about 8 or 9 pounds, so that's a lot of weight to be throwing out and bringing back. Another thing to look at is the profile of these magnets. This magnet is almost as big as my head, so when I am dragging this back across the bottom, there's a high chance that this could get snagged. So these are some things to consider. For the purposes of today's video, we're going to be just working with these single-sided magnets to determine if there's a point of diminishing returns as we get larger and larger on these magnets. Is it truly worth it to have a bigger magnet? So with that, let's jump right into the test. I think you're going to be surprised at the end of the test, so stay tuned to the very end when I'm going to show you a secret magnet, which is the type of magnet I use, which I believe to be the strongest of them all. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to be starting in with the 600 pound 2.95 inch magnet from Brute Magnetics. If you're interested in any of these magnets that you see today, the links to all of them will be below. And if you enter the code BirdDogg at checkout, you'll get a nice little discount towards purchasing yourself one of these magnets. Let's start here at about 4 inches. Yeah, feels like it's starting to pull right about 3.5 inches. If you guys can see that movement. Right there, it starts to pull. And at 3 inches, it really takes it. Let's do that one more time just to be as scientific as we can about this. Golly. I'll be lucky if I keep all my fingers during this test. So here we go again. Again, this is the 600 pound magnet. We'll come into 4 inches. 3.5, it's starting to pull, I can feel it. 3 inches. So we got 3 inches out of the 600 pound magnet. With that, let's move it on up. We're going to next move to the 1,200 pound magnet. Now, I know that this is one of their most popular sizes, and probably with good reason. I think that there is going to be a good pull to weight ratio here, as well as the size of the magnet is a little bit more manageable. Okay, so here we are with the 1,200 pound magnet. We'll start at 5 inches. Nothing really happening there. About 4, oh, right about 4 inches it looks like, but let's try that one more time. See if we have a different result. Yeah, 4 inches is definitely where it starts pulling. So, 4 inches. We gained another inch by doubling the power of the magnet. So, that's worth noting. We got 1 more inch, doubled the pulling force of the magnet. Now let's move on to the largest magnet commercially available that I know of, the Dock Buster. And this magnet is called a Dock Buster for a reason. It's also an arm buster. This would be like throwing a gallon of milk all day. Really big magnet, 2,100 plus pounds of pulling force. And that's another thing to consider, is how much weight can you actually pick up as a person. I can't pick up 2,100 pounds. I can certainly not even pick up 600 pounds. So if you were to stick onto an object that tightly, you probably wouldn't be able to pull it out anyway. But here we are with the 2100 pound. So we're doubling the force again from the 1200 magnet virtually. Let's see if this adds enough pull to make it worth it. Here we are at 6 inches. 5 inches, nothing. 4.5. Starting to pull a little bit right near the 4 line. 4 inches roughly. So we're getting pretty much the same result right there. And I have to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like it's pulling as hard when it attaches to this magnet. Maybe that's because the magnetic force is spread out over a larger area. Let's try one more time. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit of pull there at about 4.5. Really starts to take it at about 4 inches. Again, I'm not noticing like a big violent clank there to justify this much more weight over the 1200 pound. Finally, we're going to take a look at the type of magnet I use. Now this magnet is much smaller, it's 2.5 inches across, but it is 2 inches thick. Now what this does is this affects the shape of the magnetic field. On these larger, flatter magnets, they have a small curved magnetic field, whereas this magnet has a coned type magnetic field, almost like an egg that comes out much further. So let's see how the smallest magnet by size that we've tested today does on our little test here. I'm going to do my best to not lose a finger on this guy. Well, stay put. Okay. This magnet doesn't even really want to cooperate with me. It's so strong it's pulling over to metal objects over here. Let's try this again. Here we go. So you may notice that this is the only magnet trying to leave the room on me. I believe it's traveling north. Okay, I'm going to try my best here, guys. Six inches, 5 inches, 4.5. We're starting to get some pull. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed that is a much more significant clank when this magnet hits this wrench. Let's try this again. I think that was at about 4.5 inches, which I think might be the furthest pull we've had yet. Let's try this again. Try this again. Yeah, we're getting pull right almost to the 5-inch mark. It looks good. I think sparks flew just then. 5-inch mark. So, needless to say, this is the strongest type of magnet you can get. Now, I will be doing some videos in the near future as to how you can rig one of these magnets up into a magnet fishing magnet, and how you can rig them up onto a post like I use when I'm out doing my metal detecting adventures. And these are available from Brute Magnetics as well. I'll put the link down below. You guys can order yourselves one. And again, if you use the code BirdDogg with 2 D's and 2 G's at checkout, you'll get a nice little discount to help you bring one of these magnets home and increase your attractiveness. So I hope that this video helped you guys decide which magnet might be right for you and if bigger is better. With that, have a great day in life. If you enjoyed this video, Please subscribe, click the little notification bell, and you'll get more content like this in the future. We're going to be doing a magnet giveaway soon, so be sure and subscribe. We'll see you next time.